They know that we're actors, they just don't know what...
The cameras weren't rolling. There were no flashing lights, no red carpet, no carefully prepared sound bites. Just a courtroom, a few lawyers, and Blake Lively sitting in the hot seat. And then it happened. With one sentence under oath, she pulled Ryan Reynolds, the Deadpool himself, into the crosshairs of a legal storm so wild, so unexpected, that even Marvel Studios is reportedly in panic mode. In that moment, everything changed. This wasn't just another celebrity squabble. This wasn't tabloid fluff. This was the beginning of what some legal analysts are now calling the most dangerous deposition in recent Hollywood memory, and it didn't just put Blake Lively on blast. It pulled in Marvel's golden boy, the charming, sarcastic king of comic book cool. And it forced everyone to ask a chilling question. What was Ryan Reynolds really doing behind the scenes of his wife's legal war? Let's rewind. For months, the drama between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni had been building. A feud over content defamation and buried professional grudges exploded into a courtroom war. But as details leaked, it became clear this wasn't just about reputations, it was about power control and how Hollywood manipulates public perception to silence inconvenient truths. And now the mask has slipped. Blake's own sworn testimony revealed that she had collaborated with partners to manage the fallout and coordinate communications aimed at discrediting Baldoni. When pressed on who those partners were, the answer came swift and cold: Ryan Reynolds. The courtroom by all accounts froze. The media, they detonated. Marvel executives were allegedly blindsided. Disney's legal team immediately launched an internal review. PR firms panicked. And within 24 hours, what was once a private civil case between co-stars had transformed into a franchise-threatening legal nightmare for the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because Ryan Reynolds isn't just a husband, he's a brand, a billion-dollar brand. And now that brand is entangled in allegations of PR sabotage, legal manipulation, and strategic defamation. The dominoes started to fall fast. Leaked emails, a rumored blacklist of creators, subpoena threats, contract reviews. Hugh Jackman unfollowed Blake. Taylor Swift's name mysteriously appeared in redacted documents, and in the middle of it all, fans watched their favorite couple, once Hollywood's gold standard, unravel. Under the harsh fluorescent light of courtroom exposure, this is no longer about gossip. This is about Hollywood's worst-kept secret finally being dragged into the open. How narratives are controlled, who gets protected, and what happens when the script is no longer theirs to write. This is the story of how one deposition might take down an empire, and why the fallout is only just beginning. In a turn of events that Hollywood insiders are calling the crack in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Blake Lively's deposition in the ongoing legal feud with Justin Baldoni has pulled in none other than her husband, the star of Deadpool and one of Disney's most bankable assets, Ryan Reynolds. The moment the court filings were unsealed, it was as if a silent detonation had occurred in the upper echelons of the entertainment industry. Suddenly, every major studio executive from Los Angeles to Burbank started checking their phones twice. PR teams scrambled. Marvel executives reportedly called emergency meetings. But what's truly unraveling behind the headlines is even more shocking than anyone could have imagined. According to court documents filed just days ago, Ryan Reynolds was named explicitly in a subpoena request related to Blake Lively's alleged PR smear campaign against Justin Baldoni and his affiliated production company Wayfarer Studios. But it wasn't just that he was named, it was what the deposition revealed that shattered the illusion of silence that had surrounded this drama for so long. Blake Lively, in sworn testimony, admitted to coordinated communication efforts, including message vetting, crisis PR alignment, and private discussion with strategic partners. When pressed under oath to identify those partners, her team paused until the judge reminded them of the legal obligation to respond fully and honestly. And so the name came out: Ryan Rodney Reynolds. That's when the courtroom, by some accounts, went absolutely still. Even reporters present in the gallery described the moment as surreal. One insider said you could hear a pin drop when his name was spoken, and then it was like a bomb went off. But why does this matter? Why is Ryan Reynolds being named in a legal deposition such a seismic event? The answer lies in the power dynamics of Hollywood and how celebrity relationships operate behind the curtain of public image. Reynolds isn't just a beloved actor. He's a multi-platform media mogul with deals across telecom, Mint Mobile, sports, Wrexham AFC, liquor, aviation, gin, and of course his historic contract with Disney Marvel. If he's implicated in legal misconduct, even indirectly, the implications reach far beyond personal embarrassment. We're talking potential civil liability, breach of contract, and even obstruction of justice, depending on the extent of his involvement. And that's exactly what Marvel executives are now afraid of. Behind closed doors, Disney reportedly launched an internal review Several sources say there's concern that Reynolds may have used company email or Marvel-backed resources while coordinating strategy with Blake Lively. If true, that could breach confidentiality and ethical codes baked into major studio contracts. It's not just messy, it's dangerous. And for an actor anchoring one of Marvel's riskiest upcoming reboots, Deadpool and Wolverine, the timing could not be worse. What's even more jaw-dropping is what's being whispered among attorneys connected to the case. Some say Ryan Reynolds was present during early legal meetings, long before the press caught wind of this entire scandal. If that's confirmed through communication records like emails, Slack messages, or texts subpoenaed from third parties, it could suggest complicity in what Baldoni's lawyers are calling a coordinated character assassination effort. Let's be clear, Reynolds has not been charged with any crime. He hasn't even been officially deposed yet. But Lively's own deposition has cracked open the door. And in the public imagination, where smoke tends to bring fire, the damage may already be done. In the wake of this revelation, social media has exploded. Hashtags like hashtag Ryan named, hashtag Blake exposed, and hashtag Marvel collapse began trending within hours. Fans are divided. Some are defending Reynolds as a supportive husband caught in an ugly crossfire, while others are calling for Disney to pause or suspend his future contracts until more is known. TikTok is awash with breakdowns of the courtroom footage, while Reddit threads are already speculating on whether Hugh Jackman, Reynolds' close friend and Deadpool 3 co-star, might have been aware of any behind-the-scenes drama. One thread, titled Jackman KNEW Look at This Interview in Retrospect, has gained over 10,000 upvotes in less than 24 hours. But the courtroom wasn't just a place for quiet revelations, it was a battlefield. Blake Lively's demeanor, according to those in attendance, fluctuated between polished confidence and moments of clear agitation. Several times she was asked to clarify contradictions between earlier public statements and internal messages obtained during discovery. One example is now making headlines: a message Lively allegedly sent to a publicist, stating, "We need to make sure Justin never works again. This matters more than my next film." And if that quote is real and admissible, it could prove damning. Lively's legal team tried to downplay the message, suggesting it was taken out of context and expressed emotional distress, not malicious intent. But the damage may be done, especially now that Ryan Reynolds is known to have been looped in during that exact period of PR coordination. If discovery shows that he replied to those messages, added suggestions, or forwarded them to studio contacts, that's where Marvel's real panic starts. The ripple effect is already visible in the industry. According to a report from a top Beverly Hills talent agency, several male actors have begun reconsidering California-based productions. For the rest of 2025, it's a trend some outlets are now dubbing the Lively fallout. One agent, speaking on condition of anonymity, stated, "My clients, especially men, are nervous. No one wants to get dragged into someone else's lawsuit. It doesn't matter who you are married to anymore. If the court wants your emails, they'll get your emails." In fact, some producers are now shifting shoots to Nevada and Texas, citing both tax reasons and legal privacy. It may sound dramatic, but in a climate where private conversations can become courtroom exhibits, everyone is looking over their shoulder, and for Reynolds, he may be at a personal crossroads. Insiders close to the actor say he's furious at how this has played out. He reportedly never wanted to be formally named in anything and believes that his support for Lively has been weaponized by Baldoni's legal team. Yet now, due to Lively's own testimony, the cat is out of the bag and the courtroom door is wide open. With the next round of subpoenas scheduled to be filed within the week, lawyers on both sides are preparing for what's next, and what's next might include a subpoena for Ryan Reynolds himself. As news of Blake Lively's deposition circulated beyond courtroom whispers and into full-scale media explosions, Marvel Studios found itself at the epicenter of a crisis it never saw coming. For a franchise that built its empire on controlling narratives, this was a nightmare scenario. Their star actor Ryan Reynolds was not just caught in crossfire, he might be part of the artillery. Internally, executives at Marvel Studios reportedly began scrambling within hours of the court documents hitting the public domain. A source close to the situation described the environment as DEFCON 1 level PR containment. High-level communications executives were called into urgent meetings with Disney's corporate legal team, and what started as an internal crisis meeting over Zoom allegedly evolved into a physical closed-door session held at Disney's Burbank headquarters. The subject, containment strategy, what was once a private marital matter, had now become an unavoidable professional liability. Disney has billions on the line. The Deadpool and Wolverine film is not just another sequel, it's their Hail Mary for an exhausted franchise. The studio is banking on it to reinvigorate an increasingly disillusioned Marvel fanbase. And if Ryan Reynolds becomes toxic by association, or worse, subpoenaed, it could mean more than just bad press. It could collapse merchandising deals, affect international box office agreements, and tank licensing contracts. Marvel's PR strategy, as one insider revealed, is now in full back-channel mode. According to multiple sources, Disney has quietly reached out to publicists for Hugh Jackman, Sean Levy, and even Taylor Swift, who was rumored to make a cameo in Deadpool 3 to assess whether any contingency messaging may be needed. The concern isn't just about Reynolds, it's about who knew what and when. And here's where it gets even more explosive. Court filings now confirm that Lively's deposition named multiple communications professionals, some of whom are connected to high-powered Hollywood PR firms that serve not only her, but Ryan Reynolds, Marvel Studios, and major streaming platforms. One such name, redacted in the first filing but later confirmed in an amended version, is a senior partner at Sunbeam Strategies, a boutique crisis management firm known for handling high-profile image meltdowns, according to legal filings. Emails between this PR firm, Blake Lively's team, and allegedly third parties within the Marvel ecosystem show what Baldoni's lawyers are calling conscious manipulation of public narratives for legal benefit. That's legal speak for orchestrated defamation. In one thread reportedly from early 2024, the PR consultant wrote, "We need to align all public-facing remarks with the innocence narrative. Target him on past statements, the Wayfarer budget and reputation management. I'll loop in Ryan if needed. He can help reframe tone in interviews." That Ryan lawyers claim is Ryan Reynolds. If that's true, and if Reynolds participated in any messaging strategies designed to smear Justin Baldoni or influence the public's view of a pending civil case, it could leave him exposed to serious civil penalties, not to mention jeopardize his future film deals. As one entertainment attorney bluntly put it, if Reynolds is shown to be actively strategizing a defamation campaign, that's not PR, that's legal liability. And the consequences are already showing. Multiple corporate sponsors are reportedly reviewing their branding partnerships with Reynolds. One major mobile carrier that recently signed a multi-year advertising deal with him is said to be in talks to include a morality clause, just in case this situation spirals even further. Meanwhile, Hugh Jackman, long considered one of Reynolds' closest friends in the business, appears to be stepping back. Although Jackman has not commented publicly, eagle-eyed fans noticed he unfollowed Blake Lively on Instagram. Just days after the deposition became public, his team has also been strangely silent on press inquiries regarding the upcoming Deadpool and Wolverine press tour. One reporter from Entertainment Weekly confirmed that a previously scheduled joint interview with Reynolds and Jackman was postponed indefinitely with no explanation. That silence has only fueled speculation that Jackman may be distancing himself strategically, and in Hollywood, silence often speaks louder than denial. Adding fuel to the fire, a new wave of internal messages leaked this week allegedly shows that Blake Lively's team attempted to front-run coverage by feeding negative stories about Baldoni to outlets in exchange for favorable coverage of Reynolds' upcoming projects. These alleged offers included advanced scoops, exclusive access, and even early film screenings, all in the name of balanced coverage. One email sent from a publicist whose client list includes several A-list stars reportedly stated, "We're open to exclusive red carpet access for Deadpool, just ensure any mention of Baldoni stays soft. Focus on the risky financier angle." Again, if proven true, this isn't just unethical. It's legally murky at best and possibly corrupt at worst. Meanwhile, the internet has gone completely nuclear. Twitter is flooded with memes of Ryan Reynolds checking his phone mid-suit fitting, while TikTok creators have turned the leaked emails into dramatic readings set to ominous music. One video titled "Marvel Knew and Covered It Up" has reached over 5 million views in under 72 hours. Even YouTube commentators are waiting and dissecting every second of Courtroom video, where Lively twitches, blinks, or glances away when certain names are read aloud. One creator noted that when the judge mentioned communication triangulation, Blake looked down and tapped her fingers, a possible tell. Some believe that she knew Ryan had crossed a line. But while social media has turned this into popcorn-fueled spectacle, the legal implications are sobering. Baldoni's team is now petitioning for expanded discovery, requesting phone logs, text chains, and Slack records not only from Blake Lively but from any co-conspirators named in her deposition, including her husband. And California's laws on spousal privilege don't fully protect against subpoenas in civil defamation cases when third-party collaboration is involved. That's why the rumor of Reynolds being subpoenaed is growing louder by the hour. And then there's the fear, yes, actual fear spreading among certain male Hollywood elites. One top producer recently told The Wrap if they're willing to drag Ryan Reynolds into this, who's safe? Every guy who's ever texted a joke to his wife about someone she's mad at is now wondering if he's the next name in Discovery. This paranoia has led to what some media insiders are calling a soft flight from California. Several major agents and talent reps have confirmed that some of their male clients are rescheduling shoots, halting development meetings, and even changing their state of residency in an effort to limit legal exposure in a jurisdiction increasingly seen as hostile to privacy. Nevada, Texas, Georgia, even Canada, these are the new safe zones. It's a phenomenon no one expected. Illegal deposition in a civil defamation case leading to a gendered migration of Hollywood's male elite. And if Ryan Reynolds is ultimately dragged into court, or even worse, forced to testify under oath about messages, meetings, and decisions he thought would stay private, the effect on Marvel, Disney, and the broader film industry could be catastrophic. But one question now looms over the entire affair, the one the public won't stop asking. How much did Ryan Reynolds really know, and when did he know it? Just when it seemed this legal war couldn't get more entangled, a name surfaced in the margins of a redacted exhibit that set both the courtroom and the internet ablaze: Taylor Swift. Her involvement in this ongoing feud between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni had until now remained at the periphery. Subtle connections through friendship circles, red carpet proximity, and cryptic social media posts. But new leaks tied directly to the deposition now reveal something far more deliberate. In a series of newly uncovered emails between Blake Lively's legal counsel and a high-powered crisis PR firm, Taylor Swift's name appears under a bullet point titled Potential Narrative Reinforcers, while the full message remains redacted. One line that is visible reads, "TS is a natural echo chamber. If we align with her fourth quarter initiatives, the ripple effect will be massive." What were they referring to? What initiatives was Swift running that Lively's legal and media team hoped to align with? The speculation is dizzying. Some interpret this as an effort to tap into Swift's massive online army, not directly, but by strategically dropping cues that would trigger loyalty-based online behavior. Others suggest that Swift was entirely unaware and that her name was merely being floated in PR strategy sessions as a tool, not a participant. Still, the fact that Blake's team openly discussed using Swift's influence raises ethical questions, and legal ones too, if coordination can be proven. If Swift had knowledge of any defamatory strategy being employed against Baldoni, even passively, it could place her in an awkward legal position, especially if texts or calls with Blake during this period are subpoenaed. And it's not just Taylor Swift who's being looped into the spiderweb of strategic sabotage. A new document leak that dropped overnight is being called the Blacklist Bombshell, an internal spreadsheet marked private and allegedly maintained by one of Blake Lively's senior PR strategists. The document, dated February 2025, contains a column labeled Flagged Baldoni Sympathizers, Content Creators and Outlets. Among the names, a list YouTubers, podcast hosts who interviewed Baldoni sympathetically, mid-tier entertainment reporters, a few ex-Netflix collaborators, even employees from Wayfarer Studios who had reposted Baldoni's inspirational quotes on LinkedIn. This so-called Baldoni blacklist is a potential PR disaster, but also a legal one. It's being examined closely by Baldoni's lawyers as evidence that Lively and her team were intentionally suppressing and damaging reputations, possibly as part of a broad defamation campaign. If proven, it turns this case from a battle of hurt feelings into a case of coordinated reputational warfare. One entertainment lawyer, Susan Greer, who specializes in digital harassment and defamation, went on record stating this kind of coordinated targeting, if linked to brand damage or monetary loss for Baldoni or any blacklisted party, opens the door to countersuits, maybe even class action defamation if enough parties were harmed. The walls are clearly closing in. Meanwhile, inside Marvel HQ, executives are staring down a situation that can no longer be massaged away with vague press statements or cheerful tweets. Sources from inside Disney's legal department have confirmed that Reynolds' contracts are now under formal review, specifically the clauses related to conduct unbecoming morality stipulations and public brand damage. These clauses are standard in high-profile entertainment contracts, especially at the level Reynolds occupies. But with Lively's deposition now placing him on a legal proximity timeline to a potentially criminal PR campaign, the legal team is reportedly exploring whether termination clauses could be activated preemptively or whether a negotiated pause in marketing would satisfy stakeholders. What does that mean in real terms? It means that Ryan Reynolds' involvement in Deadpool's press tour is not guaranteed. A report from Variety late last night cited anonymous sources claiming that the studio is exploring options for a Hugh Jackman-centric press run. Should Reynolds be forced to scale back visibility? That's right, Deadpool without Deadpool, and the chaos doesn't stop there. Social media continues to function as both amplifier and executioner in the saga. Men's rights activists strangely aligned with conservative Hollywood circles have seized on this scandal as evidence of celebrity feminism turned weaponized. Hashtags like hashtag men under attack, hashtag California trap, and hashtag DEADPOOL divorce soon have gained serious traction. In contrast, feminist commentators argue that the real story is being distorted by right-wing digital warriors who are cherry-picking leaks to paint Lively as a villain and Baldoni as some kind of martyr. But the nuance of this entire scandal has been lost in a sea of polarized digital warfare. One TikTok creator aptly summed it up: this isn't just about Blake versus Justin. This is about how Hollywood manipulates, silences, and burns anyone in the way of image control, including their own. And perhaps no one is feeling the heat more than Reynolds himself. According to Page Six insiders, the actor has become deeply withdrawn and increasingly frustrated with being drawn into the public arena without legal protection. One source close to his team noted he was never supposed to be part of this, but now every lawyer in LA is looking through every text he's ever sent. This public pressure may be why Reynolds was recently spotted flying solo out of LAX on what his reps called a private business trip without Blake, without press, and without comment. Meanwhile, the court has confirmed that another round of depositions is scheduled, and this time Baldoni's legal team has officially filed a motion to include Ryan Reynolds as a witness. Whether or not that motion is granted will shape the next chapter in this case and quite possibly the future of Deadpool itself. As the dust settles from the Bombshell deposition and the shocking fallout that followed, one truth remains unavoidable: this is not just a scandal about a celebrity feud or a courtroom drama between former colleagues. This is a full-blown reckoning within the entertainment industry. What began as a private legal dispute between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has now unraveled into a tangled web of celebrity influence, corporate panic, and public distrust. And at the heart of it all lies the surprising, uncomfortable truth: Hollywood's most carefully curated images are not just cracked, they're collapsing. Blake Lively's deposition has exposed more than just legal vulnerabilities. It's peeled back the polished exterior of one of Hollywood's most beloved couples and shown us what happens when fame, influence, and unchecked power are allowed to operate behind closed doors. Her own words, spoken under oath, now threaten to upend her career, her credibility, and potentially even her marriage. But the shockwaves don't stop there. Ryan Reynolds, a man who has carefully built an empire of relatability, wit, and charm, is now staring down the barrel of potential subpoenas, discovery motions, and public scrutiny unlike anything he's faced in his career. He wasn't the one on trial, but thanks to Blake's admission, he may be forced to publicly defend himself against allegations of complicity in a possible defamation scheme. And Marvel, which banked its next phase on his popularity, now finds itself entangled in the scandal, uncertain, vulnerable, and increasingly desperate to protect its brand. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni has gone from a silent casualty of Hollywood whisper campaigns to a central figure in one of the biggest courtroom stories of the year. His legal team is energized. The public, more divided than ever, is either rallying behind him or accusing him of exploiting a media moment. But make no mistake, Baldoni's refusal to be silenced has cracked open an industry that thrives on silence, and the public, they're watching closely with sharper eyes than ever. Gone are the days when a PR apology and a press tour could wipe the slate clean. Today's audiences are savvy, unforgiving, and demand real accountability, not just for what's said on camera, but for what's done in private. The fallout from Blake Lively's deposition is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of a broader reckoning. A reckoning with how fame protects and how in the right courtroom it collapses. As legal motions continue, as Marvel braces for impact, and as more names inevitably enter the firestorm, one thing is clear: this isn't just a scandal, it's a signal. Hollywood is being forced to tell the truth, and for once it can't edit the script.